Welcome to Techarinos Coding. Today, we're going to learn the basics of creating a program in Scratch. And before we get started, learning how to create a program is very important because this information will stick with you for the rest of your creative journey in Scratch. Let's get started. First, let's click the Create button. What this does, it'll create a new project. Once we click it, it'll redirect us to scratch.mit.edu/projects dash the code of your project. Now, you may be overwhelmed when you see this page, but don't be. It is actually really simple. Now, if we go to the name of our project, we can change it just by highlighting the text. Let's name it My First Project. Now, you will see a big window over here. This is where all our code is stored, all our coding blocks. There are multiple sections. Motion, this is usually to move our character. Looks, sound, events, control, sensing, operators, variables, and last but not least, my blocks. All of these coding subsections will be gone over in future videos. Now, let's move on to the right side of the screen. We will see something called Sprite. This is basically what our character is called. Right next to it, we will see a little icon that says X and a little icon that says Y. Now you may be confused what that is, and I will go over that right now. Before we do that, let me explain to you what this window does. This window is where our code will be presented. For example, if we drag something over here and if we run it, you will see that our sprite just moved 10 spaces to the right. And now you may be really confused what just happened, but don't worry, we'll go over that in our next video. So, what is X and what is Y? Whatever happens on our Scratch running window is basically on a graph. The horizontal line right next to my mouse is the x-axis. And the vertical line, where my mouse is right now, is the y-axis. I like to remember this by thinking that x is often long and wide, versus y is often narrow and long. Now, it says x and y. So, if we move our character to the x value of 10, it'll move to the right by a little bit. If we go to our graph and see where 10 is, we see that 10 is just a little bit to the right. We'll go more over this in a future video. We also see the size of our sprite. We can change this by just dragging our mouse over it and changing the values. As you see, I switched the size from 100 to 150. This made our sprite much larger. We can also change the name of our sprite. Let's call it the Tecarino. And if you don't know, the Techarinos is an FTC team. Now, there's also a lot of customizable features, such as changing how your sprite looks, changing the backdrop of your running window, and changing the costume of your sprite. All of this will be gone over in a future video. Now, you have all the information that is needed. To start a project. To learn how to start a project and to learn how to code, click the link in the top right of the video. You can also go to the link that is linked down in the description down below. And once again, thank you so much for watching and enjoy coding.